welcome to Chef Shelley's Kitchen. So I was on a recent trip and I had an opportunity to actually go into I had a day pass to an airline club. And I went in, and for those of you that have been privileged to go into one of those, they have many snacks, little things, mini salads, soups, and things of that nature that you can eat while you're waiting for your flight. And I had a 3-hour layover, so, I was up for, having something hearty. And so, anyway, I came across this soup. They had a white chicken chili soup. And honestly, I had never tried, never had it, and actually never even heard of it. And I'm sure plenty of others of you have. I had not. So I tried it, and let me tell you, I loved it. So I came back and I started thinking about, what were some of those key ingredients that I remember that I'd like to replicate? And I searched on the internet, came up with 3 really good recipes. And from the 3, I came up with my own, and I've tweaked it, and this is just a winning combination. So what you can see here, I've got a number of different items. I've got chicken breasts, 2 chicken breasts, which you can actually substitute this for chicken thighs if you want. Also note, I'm actually doing this in the crock pot. Now, those of you that know me, my friends and family, know that I love crock pots, and I love crock pots because it is truly the multitasking that's going on, that I can start something in the morning, put it in my crock pot, and it's ready at dinner time. If you don't have that kind of time, certainly you can make this dish on your own. But I really prefer the crock pot, especially for this dish, and the seasonings that are required to go in to give it that nice chili kind of taste. Now, in the comments section, I actually have the spices that you'll need and the quantities to make your own chili sauce. But if you don't have things like cumin or cayenne pepper and you just have the chili packet, that will work just fine. So as I said, you've got your chicken here. Certainly if you're vegetarian, you don't want that. You don't even have to have that. I have chicken broth, northern beans, chili, peppers, again, my seasoning. I have bell peppers, chopped bell peppers, onion, and garlic. So what I'm going to do to get us started, let's put the pan here on the heat. And I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. And to the olive oil, I'm going to add, because basically I'm wanting this to saute, I'm going to add the garlic, and I'm going to add the bell peppers, and essentially I'm just going to saute these. I'm just going to make it tender, and from there we're going to be putting everything else though in the crock pot as is. So this is just kind of the only thing that I'll want to do. Okay, so I'm going to let that start to do its thing, and I think I'll add just a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more olive oil to the mix, and I kind of hear it doing its thing. All right, so while that's working and it's getting itself all set up, let's add everything else. So to the base, I would like to go on and put the chicken in. So as I said, 2 pieces of breast, or I think maybe 4 thighs would be a good portion. Your chicken broth, and if you find that you want more liquid, certainly you can add more than what I have recommended, which is roughly 2 cups. And then here are northern beans, so we're going to add the beans nicely. We're going to add the chili. This was hard to find, my gosh. I would say if you have a store that has Mexican food in a section, that's where you want to find the chili. And then to that, I'm going to go on, because we've got that coming, but I'm going to add my spices, which, as I mentioned, cumin, cayenne pepper, oregano, a little salt, a little pepper. So we're going to just put this in here. pretty nicely. And the thing that really sets this off, quite honestly, is the cumin. And then the heat from the cayenne pepper. It just does a number on it. So we're gonna just stir that a little bit like so. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, why didn't I cook the chicken first? Guess what? The chicken will tear itself apart. So what I do is, if I'm going to cook this for all day, I will cook it on low in my crock pot. However, if I'm trying to make it a little faster, like today, I want this to cook in 4 hours, I'm gonna cook it on hot. And you'll be able to, by that time, really tear apart the chicken, and it'll be just beautiful. All right, so our last little thing here is just sauteing this a little bit. We want the onions to just kind of caramelize just a little, just a little, just a little. Okay. Very nice, very nice. It's looking good. And then, as I said, we're just gonna put this, I'll sit this inside of my crock pot, and it'll be all good. So we're just gonna saute it just a little bit more here. So I wanna make sure, and it smells so good. It smells so good. So as I said, depending upon if you're a vegetarian, you know, I mentioned in a few other episodes that I am doing noom, and I'm also trying to do more plant-based, but then on occasion, I will have the occasional fish or poultry, so this will be one of those days. One of the things it talks about a lot is if you want something filling, have soup with your meal. Start it out with soup. So the meal today is going to be a nice hearty green mixed salad with this. And this is not a part of noom, but this is a part of, you know, the cheat, because I've done well with what I ate today. I also made some homemade cornbread, and so we will have that. We'll have our salad, we'll have the chili with some cornbread. So all good, all good, all good. All right, this is just about done. I'm just gonna kind of let that sit there. I don't want to take it out prematurely. And again, you just kind of want it to caramelize a little, and if you're not familiar with what that means, the onion gets a little glazy look on it. It is the best way for me to describe it. And just kind of want to get that. I don't want to take it out too early. And sometimes people will say, I had this question the other day, someone was like, well, how many minutes? Well, it's really kind of hard to say how many minutes exactly. Again, it has a look, just a glaze, a shiny kind of look to it. And then you'll know when stuff is done. This is why you have to keep practicing cooking. When you keep practicing cooking, then stuff comes out really, really nicely. And then you'll be at a place where you're not timing it per se, but instead you are just, you can tell by how it looks. All right, so we're in a good place now. I'll just kind of show you a little bit of how that looks. As you know, I didn't keep it in very long, just enough to caramelize. And of course, it's gonna cook further once it's in the crock pot. All right, so honestly, this is it. This is it, this is it, this is it. So I'm gonna just stir it a little bit, and then I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to let it do its thing, and then we'll come back 4 hours later and let you see how this turned out. Okay, so we'll be back. Okay, 4 hours later, 4 hours later, the white chicken chili is ready. And so what I've done, actually, as I mentioned, the chicken is going to be such that you can pull it apart. And that's what I did. I just really used kind of the base of my spoon and just started pushing down on the chicken breast, and that will just tear it apart because it's that tender. So I do want to put some in the bowl here so that you guys can get a look at it. And certainly it's really, really hot. So I'm going to do a taste, but certainly it's going to be really hot, so not much of a taste. But just want you to get a little look here at kind of the consistency of it. It's just delicious, okay? And so what I also recommend, you don't have to, it'll taste delicious without it. But, you know, if you want, just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on the top. And if you have some tortillas and you want to be adventurous and you want to add some tortilla chips on it, guess what? All of that is going to make it even better. So let's just give it a swirl. I know it's delicious though. I got the seasoning right. You know, sometimes you have to, when you're not following an exact recipe and you're coming up with your own, you have to tweak the seasoning. So do use the measurements that I have in the comment section. So let's give it a whirl. Good. Good, good, good. Very nice. Very nice indeed. One more. So good, guys. So this will be dinner tonight with a nice salad. Again, add your little additions to it to make it your own. If you need a little bit more salt, although I don't think you will, or a little more pepper, again, like I said, make it your own. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the little picture in the circle, and I come out with an episode every other week. Some kind of recipe that's simple, that's delicious, and a healthier version of that recipe. Thanks again, and certainly share on your social media sites if it's something, again, you'd like for someone else to learn about. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.